sociology student, and today I'll be talking about the theories/concepts that I've used to start up class. The first one that I would like to talk about is the conflict theory, which is also the one I'm most interested about. The conflict theory explains that society is characterized by permanent inequalities and power struggles between different social groups competing for limited resources based on class, race, and gender. Social order is maintained through the dominance and oppression of some group over others. There are three ways that I've used this outside of class. First, by observing economic inequality that lead to social tensions or conflicts. There's a big example, which is the death of the United Healthcare CEO. The second one is by analyzing power dynamics in relationships that have unspoken rules and expectations that benefit certain individuals or group more than others. One big example is the relationship between a boss and an employee. There is an unspoken rule, which is to have respect towards your boss, but there isn't really a rule that says that your boss should have some respect against you, and that's just because he has a higher rank than you. The first one is understanding social movements, which has happened a lot throughout this and last year. By doing this, I can analyze the groups challenging existing power structure and inequality, such as the protests against Israel. I have two ways. I have two ways that I use this outside of class. The first one is by understanding the role of institutions, such as school, a workplace, or religious organization. By doing this, I come to understand that they maintain a social order and meet the needs of individuals. And it makes me be more grateful towards them, because without them, there wouldn't be any stability in my life. The second way that I use this outside of class is by recognizing interdependence, by reflecting on how different parts of society rely on each other, such as how those schools rely on their government, or how governments rely on schools, because they need skilled workforce for their government to grow or to at least be maintained. The third theory/concept that I would like to share about is about the feminist theory, which is a little more personal because I am a woman. The feminist theory examines gender as a central organizing principle of social life and social inequality. It critiques patriarchal social structures and aims to understand and challenge the systemic ways in which women experience subordination. It also recognizes the intersectionality of gender with other social categories. The first is, the way that I use this outside of class. There are three ways that I use this outside of class. The first one is by analyzing gender roles and expectations. Something that I don't really agree with, but I do understand where it comes from, is that women are more criticized than men, and because there are more expectations towards women when it comes to being more responsible, handling kids, like the normal social norms. And for that, and because of that, women celebrities are sometimes, perhaps most of the time, criticized more than men and harsher. One example that I would like to share from the Spanish community that has happened a long time ago is the cancellation of Yuya, which is a Spanish YouTuber, and by Spanish I mean like Hispanic YouTuber. Um, and she got canceled because she was just showing her kid, and supposedly people considered this as a way of her encouraging teenage girls to get pregnant and have a kid, which makes no sense compared to the cancellations that we can call that of Yao Cabrera. Yao Cabrera is a also Spanish slash Hispanic YouTuber that has throughout many years scam their fans, done illegal things such as having drugs in their house, not paying the rent, etc. And something that really bothers me is that there are many reasons to cancel this person, but although they do happen, there are turn to forget because because he's a man, maybe just because he's more accepted than a woman. I'm not sure. Anyways, the second way that I use it outside of class is by identifying gender bias. By doing this, I am aware of potential gender biases in language, hiring practices, and advertising. One example from my own experience is that sometimes some teachers just prefer men. Like, they prefer to talk to. No. I mean, like some teachers actually do favor men, whether they are from the opposite sex or from the same sex. But sometimes teachers or people from um professional occupations that shouldn't have a bias towards anyone, you seem to be more linked or more inclined to favor men. And though I would like to make a disclaimer, and that is that this doesn't always happen, but it is a real problem that companies prefer men more than women. Why? Maybe because they consider men as more intelligent. But although this doesn't always happen, um, although this has never happened to me in my own personal experience, aside from the teacher part that I talked about, I haven't really experienced any biases or like certain discrimination just because I am a woman. But that doesn't take away that women that have actually experienced this, doesn't exist. Because then again, there are more murders for women than men. It's just a real part of this world. And it's just a real part of this world. The last theory slash concept that I'll talk about is about ethnocentrism, which I'm also very interested in. And ethnocentrism is the belief that one's own culture or ethnic group is superior to others, and the tendency to judge other cultures based on one's own cultural standards. And I'm really interested in this theory slash concept because there are many evidence throughout history that prove this to be right. One of them is the Holocaust, slavery, and any sort of imperialism. And that's exactly one way that I use this theory slash concept out of class, by further reflecting on historical events and understanding them. Because it's not just about knowing history, it's about understanding history and understanding that things that happened in the past can happen in the future. I would like to say that the conflict that has happened throughout this month about the border wall between Mexico and the United States. It's an example of ethnocentrism. I do believe the United States has a good reason to put the wall because they don't want any more people entering their country because they have a lot. But I don't think they are actually doing it because just because of that. I believe that people have more hatred than they recognize towards those people, Mexicans, Hispanics in general. And it's possible that events like the Holocaust can happen again. People throughout the internet have recognized this. And although it might not be as serious as the Holocaust, at least something that is similar to it may happen. Hopefully not. Also, another way that I use this outside of class is by recognizing my own cultural biases. I am Mexican and I consider my culture to be the best. And that happens to everyone. Everyone considers the culture as their best because they are from where they are and they are proud because of that. And that's okay. But it comes to a point where you start judging people or start making fun of people just because of their own culture. And that's where you draw a line. And by doing this, I've learned to be more mindful of my own assumptions and judgments when encountering people from different cultural backgrounds. And I have to say that I do have many friends from different parts of the world, such as Canada. I'm sorry, that was a really bad example. I meant to say India. But yeah. And by having friends from other parts of the world, it has also helped me to understand their culture better and not judge at all. But yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening and tuning in. This was a really long talk for me. And I really appreciate this class because it has really opened my eyes. It has really opened my eyes to understand things better and to not just be so trustful of the media and to really important have my own opinions. But yeah, this is my last assignment and I'm really grateful I had this class. So thank you.